Hello, warriors. For those who know me and have been following my channel, you know that I've been recovering from and going through a massive period of anxiety and depression. In my last video, I talked about some relaxation techniques that can really help and have helped me through this time. In this video, I want to talk about exercises that have helped me and that I think are essential for healing from depression and anxiety. Number one is hiking. Hiking has definitely helped me through my recent lowest points. Also because spring started to come, so I started to be able to go outside a bit more and not get locked up and look at the gray and cold outside and just enjoy the kind of nice weather we have here in Belgium. Hiking is nice, maybe because also the contact with nature is very important when you deal with depression and anxiety, and it's very healing. But also because when you're looking to find your way through a new place, a new scenario, the last thing that you can think of is how depressive or anxious you actually are, because your brain is too busy solving other problems. One of the main sources of depression and anxiety is rumination, going through the same kind of scary, unpleasant, or disappointing thoughts. And this normally happens when you're alone and or when you're bored. I live in Belgium and we have a lot of towns in the south that are just surrounded by beautiful nature. So the planning, the going there, having to find my way through a new city, having to find my way through the mountains or through the countryside, this all divert me from my less than ideal mental condition. I like to do it for long extensions of time. So in the end, I'm so tired and I'm so full of those amazing scenarios that the last thing that I can think of is my depression. And at the end of the day, I can either review my adventures by myself in my head or talk about them with friends over a beer. Number two is jogging. Jogging, I know, can be hard to start. For some people, it can feel like a pointless torture, but once you get the gist of it, your body starts producing endorphins and dopamine, both hormones that are responsible for well-being. So your body gets addicted to that feeling, it's a good feeling, and it's a good addiction. The key is to push yourself to the limits. Um, of course, while avoiding to get hurt, you should have a plan, but you should push yourself to the limit in order to not get bored. So if you are pushing yourself to the limit, if you're sweating, if you're really giving it that max, then also, of course, you're not concentrated on your depression and your anxiety because you're so concentrated on the run, on what you're doing right now. There's two ways you can push yourself to the limit. The first one is the treadmill. It's a very traditional way to do it. You can keep increasing the workouts until you feel like you're really making an effort. Because if you're just bored on the treadmill, then you can start ruminating again. But if you're really sweating, and don't be afraid to sweat, just sweat it out, then you're concentrated again, and that can be a good feeling, a pleasurable feeling, and it can give you that high that we have when we do cardio. Of course, avoid to hurt yourself, so do it with a plan. The second way you can push yourself to the limit while running is to practice for a run of some sort, a half marathon, for example, or a 10K run, for example. Long distance running, when you're really pushing yourself, when you're really involved, can feel like a kind of meditation when your mind is completely empty and only focused on that goal. And that can also be amazing for your brain. It kind of washes your brain as well. Number three is HIIT, high intensity interval training. HIIT can give you the same high as jogging without being so boring, let's say, without being so repetitive. This is because HIIT consists on doing a series of exercises as fast as you can, pushing yourself as much as you can while having someone motivating you to do it. In the end, you're completely exhausted and all your muscles have worked, which feels great. I will put on the link below an exercise that it's a half-hour exercise, or yeah, I think half-hour exercise that I find good. You can do it at home and you can see for yourself if you like it or not. It really gets that dopamine rush. It really gets that metabolism going. It's a really good way to hit the depression away. Number 4 is elliptical, or anything that involves pushing or punching, like boxing, for example. I personally cannot do boxing. I cannot do any contact sports because I have really intense myopia, really extreme myopia, so my eyes are really fragile, and I cannot jump up and down a lot or have someone punch me in the face accidentally. That just can't happen. But I do elliptical, which basically the principle is the same. And I don't know if you know what elliptical is. It's like it's a machine and then you go like this, and it's a bit stupid to try to explain it right now. Just go and Google it and you'll see. But the principle is the same. You use your arms to imagine that you're exorcising whatever is annoying you away. And yeah, let's face it, punching that thing away. It can be depression, anxiety, an ex, someone that wronged you, the ways you feel life has wronged you, your mother, your father, your cousins,
your dog, your gardener, your horse, your cat, your cousins, your daughter-in-law, your boss, your colleagues, your boss, your family, your mother, your family, your neighbors, your daughter, your house, your pets, your beds, your machines.
Number 4 is yoga. Yoga works differently for everyone. I personally find yoga alone a bit boring. I'm more like a cardio type of person, but I know that for some people, yoga alone can work very well. In my case, it works with mixing it with other things. For example, the other day, after a really intense cardio session, I did some yoga, and it really helped me to calm down, to center myself, to stretch, and in the end, I felt much calmer and not as hyped up as I would feel after a normal cardio session, which is a thing that can also happen. So yeah, it depends if it works for you or not. It also allows you to work different muscles, and that helps with your metabolism, the way your body processes whatever is going on. So these are my 5 tips. I hope they helped you. If you have any other tips, please leave them on the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on this email address right here. And until then, happy healings. Have a nice spring, and summer is almost here. Let's work out that depression away.